All right. Hey guys, what's going on? I have a little bit of a different video for you guys this week because I didn't really have time to film like a full in-depth polished video like you guys might be used to seeing coming from me. However, I still wanted to release something because I have so many things that I want to talk to you guys about. I just feel like I don't have time to make videos on all of them. So I thought I'd try something a little bit different this week, a little bit more of an informal Q&A style video. Just me sitting here talking to you guys. No scripts or anything like that. I'll try something a little bit out of my comfort zone. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, I'll just answer a few of the questions that you guys had for me on Instagram, starting with some questions about this guy, the Nazgul5, which has been my main FPV drone for the past 6 to 8 months, I think. And it really doesn't look the same way that it did when I first got it. Over time, I made a few modifications, changes, upgrades to it, and you guys have been asking me about that. So I thought I'd take a little bit of time to talk about them, talk about why I did them, whether I'd recommend you guys do them if you have the same drone. And then later on, I'll just answer other questions that you guys had as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first upgrade that I made to this guy was upgrading the video transmitter. Now, there was nothing wrong with the video transmitter or the VTX that was originally in the Nazgul. However, I just wanted to see what difference it would make to my video feed if I upgraded the stock VTX to something of a little bit higher grade. So I ended up going with the Rush Tank Ultimate, which was recommended to me by a few different people, saying that it's a high-end VTX at a mid-range price, which sounded pretty good to me. And honestly, it's pretty great. I would also definitely recommend it to others. It's given me really solid performance. I've been able to take it down mountains, across the ocean, and I've consistently had really great video reception. And honestly, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Is it something that you have to do right away if you buy the Nazgul5? No, but over time, it is a nice upgrade to make. And really, all I had to do was unplug the old one, plug the new one in, and that was it. Now, the next change that I made was upgrading my radio transmitter and receiver to Crossfire. I have this little 3D printed mount here for my Crossfire antenna, but this is probably the best upgrade that I've made to date. A few of you guys have asked me whether I think that Crossfire is something you should upgrade to right away when you're starting FPV. And that's a tough question to answer. It is pretty expensive. However, if I was starting out today, Crossfire is probably one of the first upgrades I'd make. The difference that it gives you in radio range is so huge, and just the peace of mind that you get knowing that you can fly far away without losing your drone is game changing. Yeah, there's not much else that I can say about it. After that, the next change that I made was upgrading these motors, which are Zing Camo 2207 2750 kV motors, which are actually the exact same size and brand as the motors that originally come on the Nazgul 4S. And I just wanted to see whether or not there would be any difference in performance between those motors and these ones, which are supposed to be their like higher end top tier level motors. My old ones were just kind of beat up and the Nazgul started flying a little bit wonky. So I wanted to see whether there was a difference, and honestly, I didn't notice that big of a difference. They do feel a little bit smoother, but the other motors already fly so well that unless you have to change all of your motors for some reason, I probably wouldn't recommend making the upgrade from those to these specifically for any of you guys who have the same drone. However, they do perform pretty well, and my old motors were busted up, so I'm not upset that I made the switch. Now, when I bought the motors, or maybe it was when I bought something else, Get FPV also sent me these little wire protectors as a little bonus. So I just decided to throw them on just to see how they work. And honestly, they're pretty sweet. They double up as LED lights. which you can change from red, blue, and green, or any combination of those colors. And they are also wire protectors, so if your propeller gets bent in a crash, instead of cutting your motor wires, it'll hit and maybe damage the little LED pads, but they can easily be swapped out. They cost about $1. And honestly, the lights look pretty cool. At night, it really increases the visibility of your drone. Now, whether or not I think they're necessary, probably not. However, they don't weigh much, so I'm not upset that I put them on. Besides that, I think that's pretty much it. I still use the same brand and type of props that originally came with the Nazgul. I really like the way they fly. I've swapped out various parts of the frame that got damaged during various crashes. I added this little Velcro strip to the top to secure my batteries. And I also removed a lot of the 3D printed pieces and accessories that come with the Nazgul when you first buy it. Now, when I was starting out, I definitely liked having them there. They protect your arms and other pieces during heavy impacts. And I would recommend you keep them on when your drone is fresh. But over time, they started getting damaged and slightly falling off, causing some of the screws from my motors to get loose. So I just ended up ripping them all off, tightening the screws to make sure everything's stiff and rigid. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this guy. So now that we got that over with, I also asked you earlier this week whether you guys had any questions for me. And I thought I would take this as an opportunity to answer some of those questions that you guys asked. So I'm going to rapid fire through these as quickly as possible to make sure that I can answer as many as I can. Without further ado, let's get into it. First question. So let's start with Fedor Daniel, who asks, what's your favorite fruit? We're starting off with questions that are too difficult. I'm gonna pass on that one. Okay, JHR Blount. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your names, guys. But I'll add a little tag to this video. What would be the first upgrades on a Freestyle drone? Honestly, I guess that would depend on the drone that you're using and where the bottlenecks are in its performance. So I'm not really sure how to answer that. Again, like I mentioned earlier, if I was to buy the Nazgul5 again, the first upgrade I would make would be to get Crossfire. Out of all the upgrades I made, definitely made the biggest impact on range. So I definitely recommend that. Mark Baker FPV asks, what camera, mic, and studio light do you use when filming your YouTube videos? This camera that I'm filming on right now is the Sony a6500. The microphone is the Rode Video Mic Pro, and the light that I normally use is the Godox SL50. Let me check. The light is called the Godox SL60W, which I think is one of their cheaper lights, but it works pretty well. Next, we have Chandra Andreas, who asks, any drone race competition? I personally have not been in any drone races, no. Racing isn't something that I've really spent a lot of time looking into. I do really enjoy racing in the simulator. And also, I feel like there haven't been too many drone races just in general happening right now because of COVID and all that. However, I would definitely like to watch a drone race in the future, so hopefully they do get started back up as soon as possible. Next, I have SBar1232, who asks, would you buy the Skyzone O2Cs again, or spend more money for the O3Os? Honestly, I love my O2. I have the O2Xs, which are pretty much the same thing. I love them, and I would definitely purchase them again if I was purchasing an analog goggle. However, if I was just starting out with FPV right now and I was making my first purchase, I would probably splurge and just go digital right away. When I was starting out originally, DJI goggles were already out. However, they were very new and still seemed to have a little bit of a few bugs and just issues. So I decided to wait until those things were worked out. But right now, just based off of everyone's reviews and just all the benefits to using those, I think I personally would definitely have just gone digital right away. However, again, to answer your question, if I was to choose between the O2Cs and the O3Os, for me personally, the O2Cs are more than enough. Josa3D asks, what do you think of 3D helis? So I've actually only seen a few 3D heli videos, and I gotta say they are absolutely insane. And I'll post a little clip right now for those of you who haven't seen it before. But I honestly think they're awesome. I love watching other people who are really good at it fly 3D helis. I don't understand it. It looks like a video game if you had like hacks on, but they're pretty cool. I can't see myself getting into them, but I do love watching them. Okay, David Cors06 asks, which budget goggles would you recommend? Under $100. Wow, it's dark out. Sorry about this lighting if you guys care. It's honestly been raining here for like the past 4 months straight. We might have gotten like 3 days of sunshine and maybe a couple cloudy days, but it's been non-stop. So this lighting keeps changing because it's so cloudy and dark. But anyways, budget goggles under $100. I haven't tried that many pairs, so I can't give you too many recommendations. However, I still love my EV800Ds. They're box goggles. I still bring them with me wherever I go as a secondary pair for others to wear. I like that you can take off the front cover and just like use the goggles as a screen so multiple people can watch you while you fly. I just think the value that they provide is fantastic. So honestly, that's the only recommendation I can give. Next, we have Nup Casey, who asks, what is living in South Korea like? Honestly, I love it here. I've lived here on and off for 4 years now. Currently, I live on Jeju Island, which is arguably the most beautiful part of Korea. So I feel very lucky to be here, except when we get this much rain. But hey, it's still a great place to live. I can't complain. Most of us are stuck indoors right now anyways, so hey. Finally, we have Harvey Williams or Willems. What are some of your tips for having a better desk space? If by better you mean cleaner, I definitely don't have any tips. I can't keep my desk clean for the life of me. Every time I clean it, 10 minutes later, it's completely trashed. So I'm the wrong person to ask. Anyways, those are all the questions that you guys had for me on Instagram. If you have any follow-up questions or anything else, make sure to follow me on there. I'll add a link to my Instagram down below. I might do another Ask Me Anything post in the future. We'll see how this video goes, whether you guys like it, whether you get something out of it. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. If you guys liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, or don't, whatever. Either way, I appreciate you guys. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.